Hey, before we get started on this episode of Prison Break, I just wanted to make a quick announcement that next week there won't be a new episode of Prison Break. This is because I know this is that episode is going to be coming out in December, or this is probably after November, or towards the end of November, whatever. But basically, I took the week off during Thanksgiving, basically. So that entire week of Thanksgiving I took off, and because of that, with how, early access and stuff works out, it means that next week, no new episode of Prison Break. But we will be back in 2 weeks for episode 6. I can't read that. So, yeah. Anyway, that's basically it. Come back in 2 weeks and we'll have episode 6 of Prison Break. But that's basically that. Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Prison Break. Last time on Prison Break, we had The Prisoner's Dilemma, where basically, after the first failed attempt, the group was placed into solitary, but then all the guards abandoned Ogajia because ISIL was starting to get really close, and the prisoners revolted, and they were going to use Ramal as leverage for ISIL, but Michael managed to convince Ramal to help them escape again, and they all made it out of there, and yeah, they're just out of Ogajia prison. That plot line is done. But, of course, we always knew, we always speculated that this was just more than just getting out of a prison. So yeah. So they made it out. Lincoln eventually met up with them. Ramal died. I think Whip killed him, actually. And yeah, they are, but unfortunately because of that, the group is now, wanted by ISIL, so that's a problem. But yeah. On the other side of the world, Teabag was interrogating Kellerman about Poseidon, and basically, first off, Kellerman got shot, and Kellerman's pretty much dead. Maybe he's not, but I'm pretty sure he's dead this time. So yeah, it seems Kellerman is dead, and then Teabag followed the two stooges, and eventually found out who Poseidon really is, and it's Sarah's new husband. Isn't that stupid? But it's fun. It's honestly fun. I enjoy that. I hope that didn't come across like I hated that in the last episode, because I have thought about that it's like, no, I like that twist. It's let's just face the facts. It's a dumb twist, But I love it. It's goofy, it's fun, and yeah. So, where we go from here, well, our boys got to get out of Yemen, before they can even deal with this whole Poseidon thing. They got to get out of Yemen, so I don't know. I don't think we're going to do that in this episode. This is about the halfway point of the season, so yeah. But yeah, why don't we just go ahead and jump right into this episode of Prison Break. Here we go. Damn, where'd you find a payphone in 2017? I like that extra detail, though, that she cleans it off.
I ran into town to get some coffee. Do you want anything?
No, I'm good. Thanks, honey. I'm almost done here. I will see you at the lake in a little while, okay?
Friggin' Teabag and Ninja just turns around and he's got that smile. It was like a Lalo smile.
There's no easy way to deliver this news, darling. It's a heartbreaker.
It's ironic based on who you were calling. Luckily, he has photo evidence.
Doesn't get any better. He's rotting all the way to the core. You've been sleeping with the enemy, baby.
I don't understand.
I followed them two monkeys from Kellerman's house right after they put a bullet in him. Needless to say, he wasn't our guy.
Kellerman's dead.
Alarming things about your boy.
But they sure as hell are used to it.
Yeah, what the hell? That's a problem. This would be a great time to grow a mustache. Oh, that fucking guy. Do you think this is weird to film for anybody? That is a problem, that it's not that he's dead, it's that he's martyred. Jeez, that's a lot of It's a lot of cash, I think. I mean, I don't know the exchange rate, but it sounds like a lot.
It's about what I paid for Freddie Mercury's ashes.
Meh.
Freddie Mercury now, really?
It's better than talking about 500,000 people looking to kill us.
Meh. Yeah, look, we're trying to put it into perspective here. Like, that's how important they are to ISIL. They are as important as Freddie Mercury, alright?
What happened to you, Michael? No, I'm not moving another inch until you tell me what the hell's really going on here.
Meh. I mean, yeah, I don't blame him. Because it is a lot that it's like, yeah, you're alive, you know? Oh, good. Just start right back here.
Michael Schofield had to die. I had to fake my death. Go away. That was part of the deal I made.
For when?
If I went to work for a deep cover operative named Poseidon, we would all go free.
Again?
Poseidon told me Kellerman didn't have the authority or jurisdiction to exonerate our crimes.
Oh, god damn it, that's exactly what Michael said.
Legal fulcrum. Told me he could put us all away for life within the mandate of the law unless I went to work for him.
To be fair, he did say that at the end. He did say that at the end of season 4.
And if I did it, you and Sarah, you'd go free. Your record's expunged, but there was a rub. I wasn't allowed to have contact with any of you, including my son, Michael. So Michael Schofield was dead, and
So the thing in the movie didn't actually kill
over
you?
the years I assumed many names. You notice. First I said no. I wouldn't do it. And within weeks, Sarah was incarcerated,
Oh.
beaten. So I gave in.
So he made sure she was imprisoned because of killing Christina. Which obviously is not what they intended at the time, but what the fuck ever.
Wait here. I'll be back.
Benjamin.
I'm going alone.
Don't do it.
I swear if this whole season was just to kill everybody off, I'm gonna be pissed. Good hop. Meh. Probably should have ditched that thing.
If you speak the truth, you'll have the man.
Oh!
You kick a lot of ass for a good Muslim.
Meh.
You can take the man out of the streets, but you can't take the streets out of the man.
Hell yeah.
I have my eyes on a different set of wings.
Meh. The kind of plane that Indiana Jones would use.
Just, it's been a crazy day, made more so by the fact that I forgot my Spanish lesson.
Spanish?
Yeah.
That's not today.
We're gonna talk about it in the car,
Are
okay?
you sure? Is everything okay?
Really, yes. It
Oh.
was fine, thank you.
Don't let me get Mike's bag.
No, don't worry about it. I'll get it tomorrow.
Oh no. Man, I was kind of hoping the parents might be in on it.
He did a deep dive, some kind of data archaeology, and he did it. He tracked those bastards down, got their cell information. So I called them, thinking I could maybe make a deal with them. Sarah,
Yeah, that's not really a good
Sarah,
excuse.
please listen to me.
I'm telling you, Michael, this is a bad idea. Isolate everywhere. No, we can do this.
You really paid the equivalent of 10 million real for some dude's ashes?
Not just any ashes, man.
Freddie
Mercury's
Mercury.
ashes. I would have paid twice that.
Meh.
Keep your head down.
I mean, fucking Queen. It's a great band. Ah. Grab some shit
All
and,
the roads
you know,
blocked.
walk casually.
I mean, it was all a lie, wasn't it? Everything, our whole life, our whole marriage. He was standing as close as
Who
he could
is
right
this
now.
person?
He was chatting with the woman who shot him.
You're saying he planned to get himself shot? Like it was some sort of sick performance?
I don't know.
Who is this person that you trust this much? What if she works for Jacob?
But Jacob is a good man. He's your husband.
Yeah.
And he helped you start a new life together. And that's him.
I bet she's a fucking plant.
I have to answer it.
No, you actually don't.
هي خلصوا وحطها أنا.
آسف ما بش عنده جزمة ثانية.
وما دخلني أنا. يقدر يجاوب لحاله.
Ugh! This didn't work.
Come on.
Yeep! Oh, they made it. Ah, it's always good to put a moving train between you and the person chasing you. Ah, yes.
There's another station 30 miles outside Sonoma.
So, trains don't work. They're not going for the plane. What about an automobile?
Gotta go with the horse that got you here, you know? So,
Nah.
he's my horse.
Craziest horse I've ever met. But got us this far.
Crazy only works if it doesn't get you killed.
He can't leave Michael, unfortunately.
Hi, Andrew. I'm Sarah Schofield. Thanks for taking the time.
I like that she kept the name after all this time. And she took the name anyway.
What's going on?
Sarah, just come with us. You'll see, please.
I think she's still wary about it, definitely. What, did they just arrest Teabag?
Sarah Schofield,
Yes, sir.
thanks for coming in. I'm Detective Keenan. We'd like you to point out who broke into your home.
Yeah, but
And
where's Detective
the one
Cal?
who shot your husband.
We need to set up an ambush. Fight.
Yeah, well, fighting is your default.
Link, when did you get a jacket? Did he plug it in? Yeah.
Rubbing alcohol? What the hell you doing? You go blind, you idiot.
It's only 95% alcohol. I only go 95% blind.
Alright, man.
My first lover was much older than me. He was my friend's father, Masi. Masi was taken into the desert and buried alive.
Oh, shit.
He brought his eyes to me in a rag.
Jesus.
I won't let that happen. Do you understand? I won't let that happen.
Listen, Sid. I'm not giving up. And queer or no, you're not either. What are you gonna do with that?
I've paid my dues, time after time.
Boy, that's a very low cover of Queen.
Michael, come on.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think 5 years in
Should've
Yemen
come
has
to you.
gotten to him.
So you thought you'd contact two hired killers?
I was trying to play the white knight. Not very well. I mean, it was insanity.
How were they
I
arrested?
was scared to death. I contacted the police before the meet, but we nailed him anyhow. We nailed him.
Jacob.
I am so sorry I put you through this.
Yeah, I don't think... She doesn't trust that for a second, but she's got to play along for a bit.
Let's do this.
Alright.
A wrench in the pipe against AKs.
It'll be fun.
Nah.
I've always wanted to crack at these bastards.
Oh, what if Ja is sacrificing himself?
Sentence. And I go on and on and on.
Is he gonna lead them in and burn them? Yeah, my friend. I never knew that I wanted to watch terrorists burn alive while listening to a karaoke cover of We Are the Champions by Queens.
Crazy Japanese son of a bitch!
He's Korean.
Whatever, I still love you.
I still love like roaches. More will be here soon.
Oh, good job.
What do we do now?
Need to take a break from making decisions. Link, airport. Airport.
Airport. There we go.
We can be there in 20 minutes.
I don't know if we have that long.
Wait for us. We'll be there. We gotta move.
Oh no, Sid! For God's sake. Fucking Cyclops. Oh, Sid's gonna go out like a hero. Okay, there's no coming back from that.
He's gone.
But he died a hero. Kill him. Just do it.
Don't waste yourself on him. You'll beat him by surviving.
Yeah, but grab his gun. One bullet will do.
Listen, we wait 5 more minutes, okay? And then we take care of this as we can. Understand?
5 minutes. Man, Michael's gonna miss the plane again.
What the hell are you doing?
No, they're taking off now.
No, go now! Otherwise you and the kids are dead. We'll work something out. We've been through worse.
Dang it. Missed the plane. God damn it, it's exactly like the end of season 1.
Lincoln, find Omar.
What? I can't hear you. What?
You go! Alrighty. They missed the plane. Alright. Well, it's exactly like the end of season 1. Which, I mean, in saying that, it's interesting how fast they're going on some of this stuff. Because, yeah, you know, season 1, you had the first attempt that failed. Then you had the second attempt that worked. And then you missed the plane. We've done that in the space of 5 episodes, you know? Okay. Yeah. Interesting stuff. Oh, excuse me. Except that now, instead of Michael, Lincoln, Abruzzi, Sucre, and I guess C-Note. Yeah, that was it. Now it's Michael, Lincoln, Whip, and Ja. Poor Sid. But I will say, you know, as sad as it is, Sid died a hero. Sid died a hero. So he did not die in the way that ISIL would have killed him. He died a fucking hero. So alrighty. Okay. Interesting stuff. You know, okay. I gotta say something about this season. I hope this doesn't come across. I hope it's not coming across as me not being interested in this season, because I am. It is an interesting season. I'm enjoying it. I will say, though, I think this would have worked out better if I had taken a break, you know? Because the strength, the main thing about this season is the fact that this season was so much later, you know? The fact that this season came back 7 years later. So I'm kind of watching this. I guess it's a whole thing about... Maybe it's mainly, I guess, about Poseidon. Because trying to get so invested in Poseidon is a little hard for me because I just came off of 4 seasons of The Company. 4 complete seasons. 3 of them being 22 episodes long, 1 being 13 episodes long. So, because of that, and the movie, honestly, and the movie also had Company stuff in it. And because of all of that, going into this season, and it's like, oh, who's Poseidon? What is Poseidon doing? And all this stuff. And it's like, dude, I'm not entirely caring about Poseidon, Now, see, here's the thing. I'm curious. I'm curious how this season ends, Like, is this season going to end with, just it finishing, Because someone did go ahead and tell me, and I'm okay with knowing this, that this is a complete story in this season. That if they had gone on to a season 6, it would have been a new story. Now, with that said, I'm curious if this season will mainly be getting out of Yemen, Like, by the end of this, Michael and Lincoln will be back in the States, But I would be curious. I wonder if the plan was to have multiple seasons about Poseidon, Where this season was about, getting out of Yemen and starting this whole story with Poseidon. If maybe the next season was supposed to be that, but then, obviously, they never made another season. They never made another season because, well, as someone told me that Wentworth Miller just didn't want to anymore, and fair play to him. It's totally fine if he doesn't want to play this character anymore. I think someone specifically said that he didn't want to play the straight man character anymore, and that includes Michael, and I can understand that, I guess. It's hilarious to hear that because I first knew of Wentworth Miller from The Flash, where he played Captain Cold, who is a very, scenery-chewing, over-the-top character. And it's the same thing with Dominic Purcell, where I first knew him as Heatwave, as Mick Rory. And yeah, the two of them were such a blast, especially once they went over to Legends. I love the two of them on those shows. So I can understand, then after all this time, you go back to Michael and it's like, oh, all right, he's very different, He's just so different. But yeah, I don't know. But I'll be curious. I'll be curious how this goes. And yeah, I think part of it, it's the same, it's sort of a similar thing that after I finished watching Breaking Bad, I actually took a break before I watched Better Call Saul. And actually, ironically, the reason I took the break, the reason I put time between Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul was because the poll that I did to replace Breaking Bad, Prison Break actually won. Prison Break beat out Better Call Saul in that poll, so I was watching Prison Break instead, and it was only later in the year that I just decided to watch Better Call Saul myself, So yeah. And I think that helped, honestly. When I started Better Call Saul, I was like, it's nice to get back into this world, Get back into it. I had a nice break and everything. And I think that might be slightly what I'm missing about this season is the feeling of, hey, we're back, Because when they talk about, like, oh, I made this deal with Poseidon, in between the final episode of season 4 and when the movie takes place, in between that, it's like, oh, I got this call from Poseidon that, Kellerman couldn't actually exonerate us, which is weird. Kellerman couldn't actually exonerate us, but he could, and so I had to fake my own death and stuff, and that's what actually happened in the movie. And it's like, well, no. Like, yes, you're saying that now, but obviously that was not the intention back then. The intention was that Michael was dead, you know? The intention was that Michael was dead. The movie made it to where, well, Michael, you know, he didn't die of his illness. He didn't die from, you know, the brain tumor or anything. He died sacrificing himself to save Sarah, you know? So yeah, so that's the thing, which I know the movie came out right after the end of season 4, but if it was always the plan to do the movie, why did you do the scene 4 years later anyway, you know? Like, that's something that kind of sticks in my head, but that's beside the point. But that's the thing, is I'm looking at what Michael is saying with way more scrutiny than is intended, you know? But that's because only like a month ago did I watch, you know, the movie and the season 4 finale, you know? So I'm looking at this with such a degree of scrutiny, you know, like, I don't know, I'm not sure about this. And the whole thing of like, oh, it was Poseidon that got, you know, Sarah arrested for killing Christina. And it's like, really? Really? And it's like, oh, so because I refused Poseidon, then Sarah was arrested, and then, so I had to do it, and I had to fake my death, and I didn't tell you. And so I was like, yeah, that's totally not what they meant originally. Like, that was not it. But that's what they were able to write for the reason why Michael would be alive 7 years later, you know? Anyway. And it's not a big deal, but that's the thing, is that I'm looking at this with such a degree of scrutiny because I just recently watched it. So I think that's partly my bad. That's partly my predicament in watching this such week to week, you know? And I will say that if you're going through first time, honestly, either the end of season 4 or the movie is a perfect place to stop, you know? I might actually... The only thing I would say is, if you do, like... If like, you show somebody Prison Break, the only thing I would suggest, because of how I've watched this, is, if you can, edit the final episode of season 4 to where you don't see the flash forward. So somehow cut it before any of that happens, you know? Which you can do. You can still show some of it, but try to cut it before it goes to the 4 years later. Because then, if you can do that and edit that to being the end of the movie, I think that would make it so much better, because then Michael dies and you're like, oh my god, Michael died, you know? And then I would recommend, if you are showing someone Prison Break for the first time, I would be wary about watching this season. Not because it's bad. I'm invested in this season. But maybe take a break. Like a month break, take a bit of a break, because when you come back to it, the show is ready to receive you again, you know? And that's the thing, is that the show was like, hey, let me catch you up, and I'm sitting here like, I've been here this whole time, you know? So, that's just one thing about watching this revival season specifically, you know? Which is interesting, because you think it wouldn't be like that, because I also did the El Camino movie for Breaking Bad. I did that right after Breaking Bad. But because there is no significant time jump in that, while yes, everybody looks older, the plot is still supposed to be like, you know, this is like 5 minutes after the Breaking Bad finale, you know? So, that would be my only recommendation if you are showing people Prison Break for the first time, I would. You don't have to for the final episode of season 4, but that would be something I would do just because that's interesting and fun, you know. And then that really it heightens the twist that Michael dies at the end. But then you could take a break, do season 5. So, rest of this episode, yeah, I don't believe that Jacob is innocent at all. Let's just put that out there. So, but yeah, so I don't know. We had the whole thing of, you know, do you go with the train? Do you go with the plane? If they had gone for the plane originally, they would have gotten out of there, you know? It's only the fact that, you know, they waited so long to go to the plane that didn't work. But luckily, C-Note and the gang were able to get out, so they're just gonna have to find some other way out of Yemen. Just do what Top Gear did when they didn't want to be recognized in the Middle East. Just like, you know, put on some burqas as a disguise and drive through the desert away from the main roads. If you haven't watched the Top Gear Middle East special, it is a hoot. Because, yeah, it's like, oh, we're doing a special in the Middle East during Middle Eastern conflicts. I mean, not all, like, because it was a little while ago, but it's like, you know, it's like, oh, we're gonna drive through Syria and Iran, you know? And it's like, okay, if you want to do that. So, but it was an interesting special, and yeah, so clearly that's what they need to do. But I don't know, maybe Michael didn't see that. Maybe he wasn't a Top Gear fan. I don't know. I mean, the first 4 seasons take place in 2005 and or 2010. The jury's still out on when that takes place, so I don't know. Maybe those specials weren't out yet, you know? It's entirely possible. Let's see. We had the whole thing with the Cyclops, but Sid sacrificed himself and was able to handcuff the guy and get him down. You know, I understand the whole thing of like, oh well, you know, you'll beat him by surviving. I get that. The dude had a gun. Put a bullet in him. Like, honestly, I have no sympathy for ISIL terrorists, you know? And I don't feel like I need to have that. So if you're going to write these characters, you don't need to give your protagonist the moral high ground and stuff. Like, which I've said that about non-ISIL terrorists. I've said that about, you know, the general and stuff. I was like, no, just kill him. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If it's a whole thing of like, oh, we're better than this. Like, who cares? But that's one of my big problems with some media where it's just like, oh, if you kill him, you'll be just as bad, or, you know, this won't be good or anything. It's like, just fucking kill him and let's all move on with our lives, you know? So yeah, like, honestly, it wouldn't... And I know, taking a life, because, you know, surprise, surprise, I have not taken a life. Yes, I understand that it's a big deal. But this is also Michael Scofield we're talking about. And Michael Scofield, I'm pretty sure, has taken a life before. I'm pretty sure. I can't think of it, you know, per se. It's been a long show, but he was ready to kill Gretchen at the end of season 3. Let's all face the facts there. Man, just reminding myself of Gretchen. If they just fucking ran into Gretchen in the middle of Yemen, wouldn't that just be the funniest fucking thing? Anyway, I don't know why I just thought of that. I just had a train of thought that led to that. But yeah, I mean, he was ready. He was absolutely ready, but I don't know. See, again though, this season, and it's like, oh, you know, we got the moral high ground. And that's always been a conflict with Michael, you know. He was ready to kill the general at the end of season 4, but Sarah talked him out of it for some fucking reason, and then she killed Christina. Fucking thanks, Sarah. But, you know who would have killed the Cyclops if he was here? Mahone. Mahone would have absolutely killed him. You know, he would just gone in and, alright, let's go, you know? Maybe that is another thing about season 5, is that, man, you really miss Mahone. Mahone was such a force of nature in seasons 2 to 4 that I'm just sitting here like, man, I miss him. Fucking Isol would be trembling if fucking Alexander Mahone was here. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? Can you fucking imagine? We had the whole thing about sharing the burden, which, yeah, that was interesting. It's an interesting thing, this whole, like, oh, Michael, he had to do this alone and stuff, and it's like, oh, Jesus, I thought after 4 seasons you'd realize you can't do this alone, But you get why he did it. At the same time, though, the biggest thing that sticks out to me is the fact that they put him in solitary in Ogagia for 4 years. Like, that's the thing that kind of messes with me the most. That is like, oh, he's been in Ogagia for like 4 or 5 years in solitary for a lot of that. And it's like, did you not? But I mean, I guess it was all dependent on, the guy across from him, that he wouldn't join in. Michael had this entire plan. It probably would have worked, and it's only now because of these 4 years that he had to reach out to Lincoln, So, we had Ja. I like that word. Well, first off, drinking rubbing alcohol, that is ridiculous. I mean, I like the line, it's like, oh, it's only 95% alcohol, so I'll only go 95% blind. And it's like, still, I don't think that's gonna, like, help, alcohol or no. Ugh. It's probably gonna taste terrible, too. I don't know. But I did like when he takes the alcohol and does all that and sets up this whole thing so that the ISIL soldiers burn themselves alive, It's like, oh, that's nice. And all of that on top of, Ja with his ridiculously deep voice singing "We Are the Champions," Oh, it's crazy. But yeah, in the end, they missed the plane, and so they're going to have to find another way out. But yeah, again, very much echoing Season 1, the end of Season 1, which is interesting, which is very interesting. So now I assume that at the beginning of next episode, to mirror the beginning of Season 2, ISIL is going to bring in their version of Mahone. That would be hilarious, But I don't really see that happening. Anyway, but yeah, still good episode, still interesting. The whole thing with, the retcon, because this, when I talk about the stuff from Season 4, when I say retcon, it's kind of, open to debate, I guess. Yes, you can say, well, this was always the writer's intention and stuff like that. And yeah, a lot of that stuff I would just kind of sit there and be like, well, I guess I don't know. This has to be a retcon. This is all retcon. That, yeah, they didn't think of all this stuff in Season 4, But they're doing all of this because they wanted to bring back Prison Break, And all of it is still interesting. I'm still invested. But yeah, kind of watching this, I was like, man, I kind of wish I had a break, because this season is built to... It's built on the idea that you have not watched Prison Break in a while, So yeah, and that I have recently watched through all of it. So going straight into Season 5, it's a little tricky. But if you have the opportunity to take that break, I would say so. But then definitely check out Season 5, because it is still interesting. So, but yeah. But that is basically it. Another reminder that we're not going to be back next week. We'll be back in 2 weeks. And also, just in case anyone's curious, yes, I am going to be taking another break at Christmas. However, I will make sure that we get through the last 4 episodes of Prison Break before that. So yeah, after this Thanksgiving break that I'm taking, we're going to power through all 4 episodes of Prison Break. Obviously in their own separate videos still. But yeah, we'll get through all 4 of those. And then there'll be the Christmas break before we start a new show. Whatever that's going to be. I still have to figure something out. So yeah. Again, if you have any suggestions, though. Suggestions of live action shows, by the way. because I've seen some people suggest animated shows, but that's not what we're doing. Unless it was like, I guess like Arcane or something. I hear that's pretty good, and I'm also talking about like longer episodes, like 45-minute episodes. So anyway, but that is basically it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist for all of my Prison Break reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.